All right, it's late Christmas morning. Lubed that up with the trans gel, and you can see I got some decent stuff. This is a lot of the stuff I've broken up from other sets. I got everything really cheap on eBay many years ago when they bailed out all the dealers, and they were selling all the equipment pretty darn cheap online. So that basically holds the center, and it'll go over the pinion. Then you use something like this if it's deep enough. I mean, if you get a different one, and then you hit that, and that way you get a nice. It's perfectly in then, and you don't mess up the inside. So pretty neat. I'm gonna do that and see how that works. Alrighty. So I just whacked it in, and that came out pretty kick-ass. Very happy. I'm gonna clean this up, basically. You know, this guy is gonna go in there, and it should be fine. Should have tested the steel on the surface, but like I said, it was a few thousandths more, and I just cross-referenced to it, so it should be fine. All right, so this worked out swimmingly. Got it all together. Just to let you know, this rear end, like the way they made shit back then, you know, I don't know if you can tell by just looking at the rear pan, but this rear end is like absolutely monstrous. I mean monstrous. And I don't know if they call it the 8.875 or whatever, but the nut, okay? What's funny is that the ring and pinion had some play. And this nut here, I'm sure you guys know, if you have a collapsible spacer, which, you know, if you're, you know, under 50 years old, like I am, so if you're under 50 years old, like I am, you assume all these have collapsible spacers. Well, the quality that it would take to make it not a collapsible spacer is a lot. Because everybody has to set up the rear ends then and put a solid spacer in there. And that's what racers do nowadays. What's crazy is that I'm tightening it, and I'm like, the nut just stopped moving. And so I cranked it down a little bit more with the impact, and it was, you know, it is, because that's just it. If you have a spacer as opposed to a regular hard spacer instead of a collapsible spacer, with the collapsible spacer, as soon as you go a little bit too far, like literally like a 30-second of a turn, this thing will tighten up. It was still running freely, and I nailed it down. And I'm like, wow, this thing must have a solid spacer in there, which is really good for racing. But not only that, like it got loose over time, and it tightened up the ring and pinion. So this is going to feel different for sure, you know. But U-joints are still good. Didn't bother with them. But just to show you also, when some people do work on a car, you know, like this side looks like it was replaced at one time, and I guess it was single exhaust. You know, when you look at that side, somebody tried to duplicate an over-the-hump pipe, and huge kink in that pipe. I mean, listen, it's going to flow just fine, but, you know, not everybody does good work, and then to let that ride, you know. And, what else? Oh, yeah, look at the quality. Like, if you want to put down a 60s car like this, where they were still making cars, if you look at a modern G-body or B-body car, modern as in, you know, like 77 to 96. Look at these spring perches. I mean, spring perches rot on cars. They rot on all cars, even front-wheel drive cars. And the rear, what they call this is the rear axle beam, because there is no differential. But like all these things rot out. This thing here is not only is it not rotting out, it's so super strong it'll never rot out, but it also overhangs. It's not in the center like they usually like put it on the center or mostly in the center. And this thing is totally pitched forward, which probably gives a better ride. You know, there's probably engineering in that, but the reason why they put the spring over the axle in newer cars probably because in case it rots out, like the whole fucking car doesn't just quite fall apart, you know. Just a quick thought on that, you know. All these bushings look okay, probably because there's better geometry and whatnot. So now I got to fill it in this, where is it? This hole over here. And should be good to go with the rear end, and I'll start doing brake lines and fix that gas line. Just a quick thing, I really recommend these 1/2-inch drive with the 3/8 adapter at the end. Instead of having a regular adapter, it works much better, and it's just long enough. This is a straight run, but a lot of other cars have a bit of problems. trying to fit it just right, and then you can end up stripping that square. Let's see if anything leaks out. Really shouldn't. There's a lot leaked out of it. So now I'm going to fill it. It's not, you know, you just fill it until it pours out. All right, I pumped the whole quart. That's all I had on me. But you just stick your finger in there. Nothing. So it needs more. So I'm gonna have to buy another one. But that's gonna have to be tomorrow. I'll just put this in with a couple of threads and get to something else. That sucks. Because I don't even have, well, now that I think about it, I did, you know, when I took that off initially, it dripped out a bit. It's kind of all wet on the ground here, on the rocks. And it's, come on, screw in. All right. Yeah, I didn't really drain out that much, but it might have been close to the quart that was in there. It's not really too much here, but I did drip before I grabbed this, you know. So it's going to have a good portion of it changed. That's a good thing. It's good that it's dark too, as long as it's opaque, because that means it's collecting crap. And I kind of like the old fluid, you know. I don't think they make it like the way they used to, you know. But for the most part, it's fine. And I'm going to buy another quart. It's probably going to take at least a half a quart more. Okay, so everything works. I thought it was a grounding issue, but actually, I broke one of these, but it wasn't working apparently. I didn't know, but ends up being I pull out the next one, and it's not working. And the regular lights came on, but they weren't coming on before. So I still think there's a grounding issue that's kind of like sporadic. So I'm probably going to do something and add a ground, you know. But it's hilarious how everything is working now. And it was the matter of the bulbs. All these bulbs are, if you can tell, but it's black. So I'm going to add a ground and then get out of here. All right. So I use this right here because this is more solid metal. All of these are basically how the lights mount here. And you can see there's like rubber crap. And this is the rubber crap that's there. I'm putting the ground wire there to hope that it actually grounds on the stud against the nut here. So it should be okay. It was working now, so it's kind of weird that it wasn't and then was. I don't know if it's because like so many of the 4 bulbs were out. That's crazy. I never even saw that ever on a car. But and there's one bulb in the front that's out. The one I pulled out was an orange bulb, and I gotta see if I have that. I think I do. Come on. You gotta sometimes be a little crafty with these. You gotta put the wire ahead of itself, and then when you tighten it, it's not working. Yeah. All right, I needed 2 hands. You know, I was trying to get it to face down, but it should be fine. It's something. These things are all tight enough. I use the thing there to really crimp them, and it's 10 gauge wire. If this doesn't find the ground, I don't know what will. But now I got to go to the front light that's out. So I pulled out that bulb, and it was orange. But now that I turn this light on, this is not really. This is a clear bulb. So I think I'm going to change them both, even though it doesn't matter. But I think I'll change them both to orange then. That way they're 2 new bulbs at least. I got these 2 bulbs left. So it's like, what's the point? I'm not going to leave myself with 1. So, but that's the old bulb on the other side. All right, very sad. The bulb was working on the thing and still is here, but it's not blinking. So that's a pain in the neck. I can't say it looks terrible. So let's see what's going on here. Ground it on the bumper. And okay, so this guy's not even blinking. That's an issue. So this might be left better for tomorrow. I don't know if there's another spot where this connects to some degree. Yeah, I gotta follow up the line up top here. You can't even see what color the wire is just by looking, like on other cars. So apparently not a bulb issue. I'm wondering, this thing looks like shit, but maybe I will just put a clear one in, because I somehow don't even want to touch the other one now, just in case. But let me see what I can find. Okay, after checking, there's a blue wire that gives power underneath the dashboard. And I'm like, I really feel it's out here. So now it's working. I was opening this, and then I saw that connection there. So I started jiggling it, and it came on. And if you can see it blinking in the reflection there. So, see, it just went out. Yep. Yeah, there's a problem here. This is the only one I was grabbing. So, gotta open it up. I'm sure it just has a bunch of corrosion in it. So I just hit them with this stinky contact cleaner, and I used a little screwdriver and I scraped out the connections. Should be fine. Might have to bend them just slightly to make a better contact, and maybe put some dielectric grease if I have some, and see how it works. Do all of the above, clean it, put some lube in there, and bend the connections and play with it, and bend it some more, and everything is good right now. No matter what I do with it, it does not go off. I gotta zoom in. Where's the bumper? Right here. Yeah, so I'm playing with it now, and before it was very easily going one way or the other, and now it's staying on. So that is done. All right, that's the end of the Christmas episode. All the lights in the rear are working, and I put the ground in. I got to put these covers back on. That's it. These inner covers. Right now I only have the left blinker on, and everything's pretty much done. I'm gonna change that other orange bulb and call it a day. Thanks for watching. Headlights on at night. These lights right here really help, because they actually light up the area that you're turning into. And I realized that the other side did not work. So all these lights work right now. I got the brights on. That's blinking. That's working. And basically, this was the thing in there. There's the one wire. Apparently, it's grounded, but it's, I never seen a bulb like this before in my life. And I don't think it's gonna, but there's something shaking in there. This looks like a 1156 will fit in there. This looks like it's actually a little bit brighter than 1156, obviously. So I think 1156 is what it's going to need to get for now, because I don't think anybody has that. Unless they have 1195, it looks like a regular bulb that, is brighter. So I'm going to check that out. T1195. Pretty much the same thing as 1156 as far as how it mounts. So I shall see. Okay, this is the end of the video. I'm going to put this cover back on for the light. And as you can see, it's working. We got orange lights in the front. I like that better. All these cars, when you have the headlights on, the running lights don't work in the front. I hate that too, but that's just the way they have it wired up, and you can't really change it. When you turn the headlights off, then the running lights work. But I got to work on that bulb. I got to get another quart of gear lube, and I have to put the drums on and put the little springs on after I get the drums cut, and then we're done. So this is the end of the Christmas video. Thanks for watching. Now with 1156, I'm never going to end this video. Thanks for watching. Yeah, I don't know how much brighter that is. I mean, if it's brighter, it's really because I think it's a big bulb. It just takes up more thing where I think it's probably going to be localized over here. It honestly don't look bad. It looks plenty bright. Doesn't look much different at all. So the guy can change it if he needs to. It shouldn't be an issue. So, and this bulb is not a halogen. So that's probably why it's not as bright. I'm not even sure if any of these are halogens. They all say Napa in the middle of them. That's hilarious. Like old school Napa. Where is it? Right there. You play with these wires too much. And, yeah, oh boy. We keep finding rotten connections. It's actually sparking. I can tell the plug feels funny on this, if it's even a plug. That's interesting. It's like this guy, I'm not sure what. I'm not even. Oh, maybe I am touching it. Go in here, set of bulbs, and then like clean the connections under each bulb. Wonderful.